This is your last video for today, March 13th. So far, on Tuesday, I assigned the first page, Solving Exponential Equations, all. On Wednesday, I assigned page 2, rewrite the equation in exponential form, rewrite the equation in logarithmic form, and evaluate the expression. I assigned all of these on Wednesday. Today's homework is going to be page 3 and 4. It says expand on page 3 and then condense on page 4. And I'm asking you to do evens only. So that's 2 through 12 on the first page. And then 14 through 24 on the second page. You can ignore number 26 and you can ignore number 20. We're going to talk about what this means, ln, a little bit later. So you've got 2 through 24, ignore 26, ignore 20. All right, so we're going to practice a couple of these. I'm going to do some of the odds, and then you can follow along with the evens. First of all, look at the instructions. It asks you to expand. To expand something means to make it longer. So using the properties of logarithms, we're going to rewrite each of these expressions in its longer form. The property states that when you multiply two arguments together, you do that by assuming that at one point in time, these were two separate logarithms that were added. So going back to your properties of logarithms, multiplication is always associated with addition, division is always associated with subtraction, and vice versa. So when they're asking us to expand, they're saying take log of 6 times 11 and make it longer. Log base 6, not log base 6, log of 6 plus log of 11. One last thing to note here, they're actually not giving us a base. Anytime that you're not given an explicit base, you assume that the base is 10. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, not tomorrow, but on Tuesday, I believe. But for now, take my word for it. If they do not give you an explicit base, you assume it's 10. And that's kind of true for this entire worksheet. So property states that if you're given two logarithms with the same base, these both have base 10s, that are added together, you can condense them by multiplying their arguments. So we're just kind of expanding the property going backwards. All right, let's look at number 7. This says log base 10 of x over y to the 6th. This one actually uses two different properties. We know that when you divide the arguments, we can assume that at one time, these logarithms were being subtracted from one another. You condense by taking two logarithms that are subtracted and dividing their arguments. So to expand that, the opposite means that if they were once divided, or if they are divided, they were once subtracted. So we used that subtraction property. Now we're also going to use that exponent property. It says that if you're given a log with an argument raised to a power, then you move that power to the outside, it becomes a coefficient. So log base x remains the same, but we're going to subtract 6 times log base y. So we used two different properties here. We used the division property to expand it into a subtraction problem, and then we used the power property to bring that power to the outside. It becomes the coefficient 6 times the log of y. Okay, one more, number 11. We're given log of the cubed root of x times y times z. First, it's important to remember that taking the cubed root of something is equivalent to taking it to the 1/3 power. Now I can use that logarithm exponent property that says if you're raising a log to a power, you can pull that power to the outside, becomes a coefficient. Next, I can use that multiplication property that says if you're multiplying your arguments, you were basically at one time given 3 logs that you were adding together. Okay. The answer key then goes as far as to distribute the 1/3 to each of the terms inside your quantity here. Sorry, I need another hand here to hold that paper down while I'm writing it. Let's just get through this problem. Over 3. Okay. So we used two different properties, the exponent property, moving that 1/3 to the coefficient. We used the multiplication property to split our logs into an addition problem. And then for my answer key, so that my answers match the answer key, I went ahead and distributed that 1/3 to each of my terms inside the quantity. Okay, so that should get you through your homework. Once again, you're doing the page that reads expand and the backside that says condense, evens only, 2 through 24, skip 26, skip number 20. The backside is asking you to condense. Well, obviously, if expand means make them longer, condense means make them shorter. According to our subtraction rule, we can condense the logarithm by dividing their arguments. You don't have to go any further than that, just rewriting it as log of 3/8. All right, guys. If you have any questions about these, email me or post to Google Classroom. You are free to discuss with each other. I've also posted the answer key. And keep in mind that if you ever need extra help, Khan Academy, Google videos, there's tons of math teachers who are all out there teaching the exact same thing as me. A trick is to enter the directions into your Google search. If you condense the expression to a single logarithm, you will find thousands of videos of teachers doing problems exactly like this. All right, good luck. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye.